Hey, this is part 15 of making foods from every country, and today I made a spin on a traditional Irish stew. So I first started off by taking my beef stew meat and chopping that up and seasoning with salt and pepper. In a pot with some olive oil, I let that brown for a few minutes until it was ready to put on the side, and then not draining that oil, I took 2 onions, 3 cloves of garlic, 3 chopped carrots, 2 chopped stalks of celery, and then 3 tablespoons of flour. This is to help thicken up the mixture. And then I added 1 bottle of Guinness and then 3 cups of chicken stock, but honestly you could use beef stock or vegetable stock as well. And then I added a bay leaf and some thyme, 2 chopped potatoes, and then I re-added in my beef from earlier, and then I kind of mix that together and just cover that and let it simmer for about 2.5 hours on low heat. And this is what it turned out. It was so good. I would definitely recommend it now that the weather is getting colder. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Hey, this is part 16 of making foods from every country, and today I'll show you how I made my doubles from Trinidad and Tobago. So I started off with 1 teaspoon of yeast and around half a tablespoon of sugar, and then I added 2/3 of a cup of warm water and let that rest for a few minutes. Then I added 1 teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cumin, and then I added 1.5 cups of flour and then kneaded that and then let that sit for a few hours. I then sauteed onion and garlic in a pan and added in my chickpeas. I added 1 cup of chicken stock, but you can use vegetable stock or anything else, but this is kind of what I use. And then I added in all my spices and let that sit and simmer for about 1 hour, I would say. Then I took a piece of my dough and I flattened it out, and then I fried it in a pan with some olive oil for a few minutes per each side, and then I plated it like this. I served it with a side of cucumber chutney, and it was delicious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. This is part 17. I'm making foods from every country, and today I made the national dish of Iran called cello kebab. I started off with 1 onion that I roughly chopped, and then I finally chopped that in a food processor until it was kind of like a pureed mixture. I transferred that into a sieve and let any of the extra juice kind of drain out, and then in a bowl I added the onions with 3 chopped garlic cloves, a packet of ground beef and lamb, and then I added my spices. So I added salt, pepper, turmeric, and sumac, which you can find at any Middle Eastern store. I added 1 egg, and then I kind of mixed that all together and then divided that into equal sized balls. Typically you're supposed to put the meat on metal skewers, but I only had these bamboo sticks, so this is what I had. I grilled them until the meat was cooked, and then I served them with a recipe of Persian rice that I found online, and then I also grilled some peppers, and this is how I served it. And then I also put some sumac on top, and this is what it was like. So good.